Okay. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Thursday. We are getting close, y'all. Thursday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock. Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProCharge EV. ProChargeEV.com. Echo. That might be on your end. Is Sean X out of it? X out, come back and let me know if you still hear it. That should be on your end. There's no reason why you should have an echo. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Dennis. Yeah, Sean, X out, come back and see if that takes care of it. Cool, thank you. Good. Yeah, I'd have been super confused there. All right. Thank you for being here. You got college football tonight, y'all. We got Florida, Utah tonight, like real college football, not week 0, blowouts and teams nobody really cares to watch, and we just watch because it's football, and we've been salivating over football and longing and pining for football for 8 months, and so they threw us San Diego State against UTEP, and we're like, yeah, or Ohio U, I think it was. I think UTEP played Jacksonville State, and we're like, football. But anyway, so we have like really for real football tonight, which would be fun. So we'll get into some of that here in a sec. Also, as you see there in the description, John Emery out versus Florida State. I think he might be out versus Grambling too. It might be 2 games. So academic stuff, same thing as I understand it. Man, not everybody's meant to go to school. That's okay. That's not a knock. That is not a knock on John Emery. That is just a reality, man. And I admire the fact that he could have left 2 years ago and been 2 years into his pro career already and stuck it out. Hopefully he's going to finish, walk across that stage. He'll have earned it. And I salute the LSU coaching staff for continuing to hold him accountable. And, unfortunately for LSU, this is a super familiar thing, not having John Emery. This is the 3rd straight season opener he'll miss. Of course, he missed the entire 2021 season. Last year, he missed the first couple games there with an academic issue, and then now he'll miss Florida State this year. So LSU super familiar playing without John Emery. And looks like Armani Goodwin's going to be out. So with Goodwin and Emery out, that still leaves you 6 scholarship running backs with Josh Williams, Noah Kane, Logan Diggs, Trey Bradford, and then the 2 freshmen. So you should have plenty of fresh legs to turn around and hand the ball to and tell them to go run. So I think LSU will be okay. And then Saints practice squad. They signed, Saints announced their 16 practice squad members. Jalen Smith was one of them. Congrats, John Trey Kirkland, also signed to the Saints practice squad. And Shaq Davis made the practice squad, which is great to see. Any other notables? Lynn Bowden from Kentucky made it. Nico Lalos made the practice squad. Ellis Merriweather, running back, made the practice squad. So it's coming together. We'll see if there's any more roster moves here in the next few days. A week from Sunday, Saints are out there for real against Tennessee. All right, let's say some good mornings. Darren Bone, good morning. 3 days till game day. Yes, sir. Vernell Thomas, good morning. About the Saints going to pick up any free agents that don't surprise us. Vernell, there's always some change. So I'll be curious to see what transactions may come about here in the next 24, 48 hours. I believe that something will happen. Someone will go to IR, to free up a roster spot. They'll sign someone off the practice squad. They'll sign a free agent. They'll make a deal. See, I don't think they're done. Hey, Dad, good morning. Craig Carter, good morning. Bart St. Germain. Sharon Gotro Ellis, good morning from Nashville. Okay. Bob Poole, Ryan Amanda Guidry, Jerry DeLucky, good morning. On our way to Orlando for the game. All right, Jerry. Bring home a dub, man. Y'all be safe on the road, dude. Are you driving or flying? I'm driving. Yeah, oh shoot, man. I just thought about that, Jerry, too. If you're driving, man, you're going to go straight through a lot of the area hit by the storm. Y'all be safe, man. If y'all driving, be safe on the road. Kelly Gross, Bubba Tatum finally out of the shower now that the storm has moved out. Time to get ready for the game. I'm glad y'all made it through, Bubba. I would assume down in Tampa y'all did okay. So looked like it went north, but hope everybody did well there. Darren Reeves, let's see. Ryan, hate to see this with Emery. Was pulling for him to have a breakout year. He may still, Ryan. Tony Williams, Debbie Jenkins, Bobby Muse, good morning. Who's going to take the first snap at running back? That's going to be Josh Williams. Richard Dukin, Joseph Strickland. Joseph said, why can't this kid get it? Joseph, it's actually a really easy answer. It's what I started with. School isn't for everybody. And that's not a knock on John Emery. That's just a fact. Like, our society says you graduate high school, you go to college. And people think that's automatically what you should have to do. And the reality is not everybody was meant to go to college. That's okay. Like, that's not a knock. Like, not everybody needs to go accumulate massive amounts of student loan debt to get a piece of paper that they're not going to use, or it's not going to be a ROI positive investment for them. Not everybody's got to go to college. But in order to play football, you got to go to college. So, I mean, I remember the story, Michael Ford. I've told y'all this before. Michael Ford was a really good running back, and he left after his junior year when he would have had a huge opportunity. And people are like, why is Michael Ford leaving? He could have had a great season. No, Michael Ford hated school. He hated school. It was a constant battle for him. As soon as he could get out, he was gone because he hated school, and that's okay. Good for him for being self-aware. And he went undrafted, and he made the Bears and played a little while in the NFL, and good for him. But school ain't for everybody, bro. It's just not. So why can't that kid get it? I don't know. It's super hard for him, and he doesn't do well in the school setting, and that's okay. Do you think Emery will play this season? I do, Jacqueline. I do think he'll play. My understanding is that this is 2 games. It's this one and Grambling. Jeremy Sage and Matt, what do you think about some pocket change on NC State -14, under 44 in the Florida game? I'm gonna to be completely transparent, I am not in any way prepared to give betting advice on these. Like, here's the thing about NC State, right? So, of course, our quarterback, Devin Leary, is now Kentucky quarterback Devin Leary. So I do not know what NC State has. They're playing UConn, and I'll be honest, and that game is in Stores. Or I think actually I think it says they're playing East Hartford. Maybe that's still the UConn home venue. But UConn under Jim Mora was a really pleasant surprise a year ago, and NC State on the road. I mean, I would be more inclined, quite honestly, to tell you I would lean toward UConn. You're going to give me 2 touchdowns with UConn at home, NC State without Devin Leary. I would lean UConn, especially if you can get 14 and a hook. If you can get 14 and a half, I would take the points. Florida, Utah, Cam Rising is going to be out of that game, and I don't know what Florida's offense is going to be. 44 and a half is such a low total in college football, man. But I think Florida might really, especially if their center is out, they might really, really struggle to move the football in that game. So, 44 and a half is just such a low number. But I like, public loves to bet overs. So, so if you're going under, I'd like it. Trivia Carter, good morning. Jesse Brown, think the Saints practice squad is as good as they've had in a long time. Thoughts? Um, Jesse, it's just different now because they allow veterans on the practice squad. So I can't tell you that I would say that definitively that I've studied the practice squad, and so often it's signing guys, on and cutting them and off move, and that's a very mobile and fluid um, place. And then they also just recently expanded the practice squad to 16. So, I mean, probably. I mean, I think they did well. I think they did well with the practice squad. Taylor Hudson, good morning. You might get to this. What's the reason Emery's not? Yeah, we talked about that already. Academics, yeah. Tiger Diver, good morning. Who we betting tonight? I'll wait and see what Jimmy and his band of merry handicappers have to say. Would highly recommend you're listening to Live at Lunch so you can get a professional vantage point on tonight's games. But that would be my early lean. Hunter Broadhead, good morning, Matt. Florida money line is a lock. Oh, I completely disagree with you there, Hunter. Why in the world would you think Florida money line's a lock? Disrupted prep because of the storm. Inferior roster, new quarterback, lack of playmakers on the outside, completely new offensive line. Hunter, I couldn't disagree with you more on that. I know Cam Rising's not going to play, so that's uneasy if you're a Utah fan, but there's nothing about Florida that I like. Weston Weaver, Ryan Pike. Let's see. I freaking told you ever since I heard the internship line from BK, something seemed off. LOL. Josh Williams, Logan Diggs. What is that? What is that emoji you put? Wendell Norman, good morning. Dalton Barnett, good morning. Reed Rule, good morning. This has to be why Kelly brought in Logan Diggs, right? No. Because John Emery's going to play this year, and you brought in Logan Diggs because he's the most versatile running back you have on the roster. I mean, Josh Williams is a good college football player. Noah Cain is sort of a downhill runner. Armani Goodwin's been injury prone. At the time, you didn't know you were bringing back Trey Bradford yet, and then you had two freshmen. So bringing in Logan Diggs was bringing in the most talented guy at the position that you had. So I don't think the situation with Emery has anything whatsoever to do with Logan Diggs. And Emery's been running third team anyway. So let's see. Matthew Rogelio, good morning. Zach Swan, Tim Gotro, Kyle Vaughn. Devin, good morning, Matt. Florida better be ready tonight. Could get ugly fast. Utah has been a real kind of like pillar of consistency. By the way, you've also got Nebraska and Minnesota tonight as well. Missouri plays tonight on the SEC Network against South Dakota, but still, Arizona State plays tonight against Southern Utah. Is that not televised? Anyway, so you got some games tonight, man. Like some legit fun games to watch. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, Utah. So Utah has kind of been a seldom talked about pillar of consistency. Here's Utah's win totals under Kyle Whittingham. It's been there since 2011, by the way. 2011 was Whittingham's first season at Utah. When he went 8-5, then went 5-7, 5-7. Then 2014 they went 9-4. Here's their win totals since 2014. 9, 10, 9, 7, 9, 11, COVID year, 10, 10. I mean, Kyle Whittingham they won the Pac-12 the last 2 years. That is a tough place to play, and he has built them into a strong, stable program. Like that, Rice Eccles in Salt Lake, for it not being a super big venue, at night when they do their blackout and all that sort of stuff. Like, I get it, man. You're Florida. You played in tough venues in the SEC. I'm not diminishing that anyway. I'm just saying, like, this ain't like 2003 when LSU went and played at Arizona, and LSU took over Arizona. Like, it's going to be a tough road environment. Let's see. Yeah, Cajun Country. Who's the punter? The guy used to be a tattoo artist. Yeah, Lou Headley. It's for Aussie guy. Lou Headley was at Miami, wasn't he? I remember watching him punt for Miami, just yoked and tatted up top to bottom. Good punter though. Matt Lynn, good morning. Stoned Musso, good morning. Flying out of Fresno, then off to Orlando. Okay, going across the country. Had a babe. It's like 5:50 a.m. in Fresno. Good for you. Alex DeVilliers, what's up? Just give the ball to Trey Holly. Man, Alex, Trey is 8th out of 8 on the depth chart, man. Not saying he won't in time become a really good back, but I don't know what skill set he has right now that's going to make him translatable as a freshman. Bailey C, I admire your bravery on the natty pick. I feel like we win 35-31 this week. Bailey, it's not, I don't know that I would say it's bravery. It's just like, somebody's going to win the national championship this year, and the easy thing to do is to hedge and go, I think that'd be really good. They'll probably go 10-2 and you go to New Year's 6. That's the easy thing to do. And based on probability, that's probable. But I've said it all offseason. LSU's going to be favored in every game they play, except when they go to Alabama. And I am not sold on Alabama. I think they have major questions. I also think Georgia's depth has taken a hit. They have a new quarterback. I think losing Todd Monken is significant as the offensive coordinator. If you want to look at probability, the probability of Georgia winning a third consecutive national championship is very low. While I understand their schedule is what it is. I also look at Georgia last year, and Missouri had them on the ropes. Ohio State had that game won in the playoff and blew it. And I look at the rest of the Southeastern Conference, and I look at LSU, and I go, who has a better quarterback in this league than LSU? Nobody. So, why wouldn't I pick them? I mean, they talked about this on AFR yesterday for those that missed it. I went and did a deep dive because everybody's concerned about the secondary. And I get it, you should be. They have real legit questions in the secondary. I also went and looked up every single national champion in the CFP era, and there has been one national champion that was top 10 in pass defense. That was Bama in 2017. They were 6th. That's it. Georgia this last year was 54th. Bama in 2020 was 71st. LSU in 2019 was 59th in pass defense with Stingley and Christian Fulton. And I heard some people were like, oh, well, that's because they were up on everybody. Bull crap. Like, and it was garbage yards. Y'all completely forget how that season went because LSU was hanging a 50 burger on everybody. You forget how much yardage and points that team would give up. Remember the beginning of the Vanderbilt game when that kid at Vanderbilt running back dusted you for like a 50-yard touchdown on the second play of the game? 2 plays, they were like boom, boom in the end zone. You beat Texas 45-38. You know why we talk about 3rd and 17? Because it was a close game until you hit 3rd and 17. Texas threw for 409 yards on you. Sam Ehlinger was 31 of 47 for 401. That wasn't garbage yards. That was, you couldn't cover Calvin, whatever his name was. Or it wasn't Calvin. It was whatever Johnson. It was the other Johnson, and then Lil Jordan Humphrey. Like, Alabama. Let's look up Alabama. 46-41. You got up big and you gave up the lead. Tua threw for 418 in that ball game. 418. See, like, my point is, y'all think, oh, that they were great. They just gave up late yards. No, they didn't. The calling card of that LSU, you get 38 points to Vanderbilt. The calling card of that LSU defense was the fact that they got better, they adjusted and got better as the game went along. I mean, that was not a great pass defense, y'all. LSU just scored 50 on everybody, so you forgot that the defense, when the defense gave up 30, you just forgot about it because they put up 50 on everybody. Trevor Lawrence threw for 234 on you. That was like all in the first half. That wasn't garbage yards. They were trying to play catch up and couldn't. That's when LSU pinned their ears back, came back and killed him. Anyway. Michael Thacker, morning, Scone. People made a big deal of Jack Best transferring. Would he even crack the top 4 wide receivers this year? I think he would have been 4th. Him or Chris Hilton. It'd have been different. You know, Chris is a real speedster. You could play outside and stretch a defense. That wasn't necessarily Jack's game. But he'd have played. But Neighbors, Brian Thomas, Kyron Lacey. I mean, those would have been your top 3. I like Jack. I wish him really well, man. I hope he does great at TCU this year. Oh, y'all smash that like button if you would. I got to get rolling here. Brian Williams, morning, Matt. I was going to fly to Orlando, but since Musso said you can swim across the Gulf, I'm just going to do that. I don't have time to explain that, but in great detail. But during the trivia segment yesterday on AFR, Musso, and the question was about someone swimming across what body of water back in 1885 or whatever. It was the English Channel, and Musso said the Gulf of Mexico. I'm like, swim across the Gulf. And then people started sending me this link about this woman who was like 58 years old and swam across the Atlantic Ocean. It took her like 78 days to do it. But I'm like, okay, that's fine. But then she would like get in a boat and sleep and all that sort of stuff. Like, let's get real. How's Florida gotten this bad where their win total is 5.5? Yeah, that's what happens when you miss on recruits and you don't maintain your roster. Yeah. I love it, Barry. Thanks. He said, thanks for the show. Never miss an episode of Morning Scone. Picking up debris here on the Gulf Coast of Florida. All good, especially since we lost our house last fall in Hurricane Ian. Oh, my gosh. Oh, man, Barry, y'all been through it, man. Hope y'all are okay. Glad y'all are okay. I'm glad y'all are okay, man. Resilient peeps, man, on the coast. God bless you. Let's see. Marine Sniper, what's up? I got to get going. Kyle Vaughn, Matt, I'm sure you saw Collada's rant last week about Mason Smith. I did not have seriously suggested LSU should play him anyway. Yeah, no, if you did that, you'd be playing an ineligible player and you'd forfeit the game. And I did not see Jordy's rant, so I can't really comment on that. I know this always surprises people. Like, I don't watch other people's shows. I don't listen or watch other people's. I spend so much of my time making content, I don't consume other people's content. So I really don't listen to or watch other shows. All right, y'all, my apologies if I missed you. It's 8 o'clock. I got to get going. All right. Trevor was 18th. I know, because in the second half, with Stevie Wonder, I guess you couldn't see the game. In the second half, LSU got way up, and Clemson was trying to throw every play, and LSU just dialed up the pressure, and it was really brilliant. But most of Trevor Lawrence's yards came in the first half. You forget Clemson scored first and were up 10, and then LSU got rolling in the second quarter and then coasted home in the second half. Anyway, all right, I got to go. Y'all have an awesome day. LSU Daily's live. We'll see you. Peace. See you for AFR3. Peace.